I know that you're involved in so many other activities and kind of an activist in your own right. I read somewhere that you are doing something with human trafficking, and that is another subject that most people don't know about. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing and why you chose to attach yourself to that particular cause.
Okay, well, I chose human trafficking. It kind of chose me. As soon as I heard about it, I passionately fight against it because I'm a woman, I'm a mother, I'm a human being, and for those reasons, and because I was under the wrong impression that trafficking was something that happened over there, meaning any other place besides the United States. It happens, in Cambodia, in the Philippines, in Thailand, in Mexico. And I was shocked to learn, no, actually, I'm wrong. It happens in the United States and in numbers between 80 and 100,000 girls that are trafficked sexually and become sex slaves in the United States alone. There's a campaign that the McCain Institute, Cindy McCain, has championed this issue for a long time that says there's no such thing as a child prostitute. When you're talking about a 14-year-old girl, which is the average age that girls in America enter into this, that's not a child prostitute. That's a girl that I found out, and I've done so much research on this, and that was enormous amounts of people. But that is a girl who is forced to walk the streets, that's beaten within an inch of her life if she doesn't make her quota of however many dollars per night, and it's usually $500 to $1,000 a night, being forced to have sex with men. And if she doesn't, her pimp will beat her senseless, or they'll have other girls beat her senseless. This is not a voluntary thing. And human trafficking not only involves girls walking the streets, but unfortunately the bigger numbers are girls being kidnapped off the street, lured off of Facebook, young girls lured out of foster care, a runaway, and within 3 days, they're in a hotel room being advertised on Backpage and being trafficked from hotel room to hotel room around the country and forced to serve 15 to 20 men a night. A night. Those aren't my opinion. That's actual fact. That's actual statistics. You can just Google it and find those things out. Those are, and I'm sorry, those are just statistics that I just can't sit back and go, that's too bad. Poor them. I hope that doesn't happen to my kid. It's horrific. We're talking about our future mothers. I don't understand why there's not a national cry and protests in the street off of this. To me, there's nothing worse than little girls being raped 15 to 20 times a day. There's nothing worse. So that's why I've sort of made it my goal to do whatever I can to educate people, to have people support bills that I believe make a huge difference. There's so many different facets to this, so that the more awareness that I can bring to it and the more people that can utilize their forces to do something about it, the better off we're going to be.
So Marisol, tell me, where can our listeners and individuals who want to get involved and know more information about human trafficking, real quickly, tell us where we can find this information.
Okay, well, honestly, you can just Google human trafficking in the United States, human trafficking California, human trafficking Texas, whatever state you're in. Backpage is probably the most famous internet site for this sort of thing. So Backpage is like a Craigslist. And there's been a huge battle on the back of for Backpage because they make $22 million a year off the sale of girls, most of them kidnapped. And the FBI and other organizations have tried taking them to court and tried getting them to stop this and take it down, and they won't. Unlike a Craigslist that voluntarily took it down when a girl died, and they traced it back to Craigslist. The owners of Craigslist took it down. Backpage did not. The internet is an amazing source, but I would say go on, even the government websites will give data. The United Nations has amazing information. Our State Department has amazing information. FBI has amazing information. Each state has statistics. There's different websites like Polaris, which is a leader in this issue. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children is another website, missingkids.org, that you can check out. And then there's organizations, and there's some amazing individuals in our government that are trying to do something about this. It's a bipartisan issue. It doesn't matter if you're Republican or you're Democrat. If you're a human being, most human beings want to stop this. So there's been some great legislation that's been put forth, and I think putting pressure on our representatives to push those legislative actions through goes a long way. You know, the government works for the people. It's not the other way around, but unless they hear your voice, they don't really do anything. So this has been an issue that has sort of been kept quiet because it's just a hard subject to look at. It's a hard subject to confront. It haunts me as a mom. So when you can do something about it, it makes a huge difference. There's Senator Mark Kirk of Illinois. You can go on his Facebook page or website and see what he's doing. He's doing a lot of work in this issue. Congressman Ann Wagner is a champion on a particular bill called the SAVE Act. It goes a long way towards holding websites accountable for selling little girls, especially ones that are kidnapped, especially girls that are already on the FBI's missing list. And then they wind up on these websites being sold for sex. It's horrific. And you go, how is that legal? Well, it's legal because no laws have been passed against it yet. So that's one of the main things is we have to catch up legislation to these things. Other things I would like to push for would be stricter laws. You know, a trafficker who facilitates a girl, puts the advertisement in the newspaper and says, come and have sex with this underage girl for this many hundreds of dollars, and they facilitate it and have it happen, like I said, 15, 20 times a day, which is horrific to even think about. They get caught. It's 5 to 10 years. That's it. I'd like to personally push for stricter laws that would try them as a rapist because they are a rapist, and that's it. They're facilitating rape. They're allowing it. Stricter punishment for Johns, for the men who go and have sex with these girls, knowing that they're underage. That kind of thing. It's just supply and demand, and it's disgusting to think about that this exists out there. But however disgusting it is, we have to, as a group, collaborate and fight against it and do something about it so it doesn't continue.
Well, Marisol, we're going to do what we can on this end of Second Year Perspective to make sure we promote human trafficking and for people to find out more information and kind of get involved. Once again, that's actress Marisol Nichols. You can follow her on Twitter at Marisol Nichols. Thanks again for coming on the program to talk about some of these serious issues. And we need to have you come back on maybe a much lighter note. But once again, thank you for coming out, giving us the information that you've given us. No
problem. Sorry, I didn't mean to be a Debbie Downer. These are just issues that need to be talked about. But sometimes it can be like, whew. So I understand. Thank you for having me on and lending a voice to this.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's actress Marisol Nichols.